Hey, to all of you guys who have listened and who are listening right now, just I want you to understand how important this is to me and how important you are. And I don't know, I don't know what my end game is here. And I guess that's how I kind of work. I just do stuff because I feel compelled to do it, and I don't know what the end game is until I get into it. So a stream of consciousness is where I produce the best work. So yeah, I really wanted to say that up front, that those of you who have messaged me and have shared stories with me, that is what I'm doing this for. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear your feedback. Some people have probably bailed on me for forever, thinking that I'm a lunatic. But that's fine too. Whatevs. I don't care. Actually, I do care. I'm not a lunatic. Just try to figure out what it is I want to do, because I know I have to do something, and I fight with myself every day, about certain, not just this. I mean, this is a way of it's just what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, vocabulary. It's an outlet. There it is. It's an outlet. And after I talk out loud, I feel better. But leading up to it sometimes is painful, because I think, why? Why are you going to sit there and talk into your phone? You should be doing other things, right? I should be making a salad right now for Father's Day dinner. And I'm going to do it. It's just I should be doing laundry. All right. I'm going to just take off right now and go do the chores that I'm making myself feel guilty about. Actually, I'm not. I'm just kidding. I have to do this. So, thank you for listening still. So, stream of consciousness on that subject. The other day, I was looking through a box of treasures, as I call them. I was looking specifically for an article that was written about my father when he came home from the war, and he had met someone famous who wanted to honor him for his service, and because he received a Purple Heart and an honorable discharge from the Navy, because he got his leg blown off in the Philippines. So there's this article that I have somewhere around here that is about that meeting. And I wanted to find it because I wanted to do a little talk, or a remembrance of my dad as a podcast. But I found that, and I still might do it. But just the thinking about it, and it got way too heavy. And I shelved it for now. Maybe within the next 2 hours I could change my mind and do that show, but it gets that complicated in my head. It's such a tangled mess of memories and things that I don't know, and people that I don't want to hurt either. So that one is on hold for the moment. But I was digging through stuff, looking for this article, and I don't have that much stuff of my father's. Honestly, I've got the stuff of my father's is, I've got his obituary and some letters, but all those fit into an envelope neatly. So I couldn't find the article, but I did find all of my journals, and I knew they were there. But that night I was by myself, so I flipped through them, and I kept a very, very detailed journal about when Charlotte was a newborn, and that was really fun to read. It was like reading a story by someone I didn't know. The person who was writing was blissfully happy. But it was me. It was really amazing. And then I flipped through a couple of older journals that were by me when I was in my early 20s, and they were absolutely painful to read. I'm lucky, I should say, very lucky that I made it out of those years with my life still intact. The writings were very much, hateful towards myself. I was trying to find or figure out where I fit in the world. And in those writings, I'd fit nowhere. But I was just starting out my college career. Is that the word I want? I don't know. I was just starting out in college as an older student in my 20s. And so there was a shred of light. So, no matter how deep, dark, and awful things got in my own head, I was still doing activities that were combating that. So I was in school. And I actually got my degree in philosophy, and I'm guessing the reason why I did that, not just for the magnificent pay, and all the opportunities it presents to me, but because I needed to figure out who I was, where I was going, who other people were, and so I could actually survive the life that I was living. So cheers to whatever spark lies within me that makes me do that stuff, because I still do it to this day. I don't know what it is. So those journals were total stream of consciousness, and they were painful, awful stuff. But I feel like that's how I kept my head above water. I kept going. It's because I was doing that writing. I was physically writing, pen, paper, and I did journal after journal, so notebook after notebook. And I've been doing that since I could write. And so I guess my point is that I think best when I am either speaking or writing. I'm very much in the moment and off the cuff. And, I've struggled with that because, for many years I thought that was very unprofessional. I never thought I could be, a leader in any way. But I'm starting to accept the fact that, a lot of people have to learn and force themselves to do the stuff that I'm really comfortable with doing, which is walking into a room and speaking up and taking the lead, or, usually it's on stage. So, I did that when I was young. I took a bit of a hiatus from that. I had some people in my life that took all the power I ever had from me. And, and a lot of times I willfully gave it to them. So there was a hiatus where I was so transparent you could see through me. If the wind blew, I would have blown away. But I'm regaining that ability to be the life of the party. Not every day. Still working on it. But in my professional career, I can make it happen. And so, okay, that's leading me to these thoughts about, a dual life. So I feel like I live a dual life. And I think most people who are seen or who are in a spotlight, and part of their lives are in a spotlight. They could be a musician, an artist. And for me, I'm a producer. I'm also an artist. I perform with a band as well. And a lot of times those two overlap. So my work and my music life overlap. And I've heard several comments from people about my ability to make people feel comfortable, my ability to make people feel welcome. Oh, got someone calling me. Pause. Sorry about that. I got called away. I don't even remember where I was. To you, listening, there wasn't even a pause. For me, it was like 10 minutes. I had to go downstairs. But I think where I was at was, I think it was about comments that I get nowadays that I have to wrestle with a bit. And it gets easier and easier every time because I'm very much I push myself to earn everything I get if it's humanly possible. So if I hear that, I did a great job on stage, I try to do better the next time. And, I suppose that could lead to burnout, but I haven't burned out yet, so I'll be fine. So I was told by someone, and I was working an event, and I love to perform. I love to be in front. I love to be the center of attention. Not always, but in certain instances, yes. In other realms of life, no. I like to come home and shut my door and not talk to anybody. So I think it's a healthy balance is what my point is. I don't always need to come into a room and have everyone pay attention to me, is what I'm saying. But when I am the one up front, I enjoy it. Okay? That's my disclaimer. So I was having a great time at this event and, being my regular goofy self, performing, doing cartwheels and gymnastics and stuff at my advanced age. I can still do that stuff because I don't think it's impossible for me. I mean, it's just really a mind game. So I had a great time. I interacted with good people. It was so fun. And someone came up to me later and said, "My God, you look like you're having a great time all the time. And you're amazing. You are amazing. Nothing can stop you. You're going to be president someday." That's a joke to say, you could go anywhere. And for me, I had to take that. Of course I said, "Thank you. My God, that's so awesome." People talk to you that way, or people truly appreciate what your art is. And if they appreciate the fact that you are genuine, authentic, and good, that's success to me. That's success. I hope, and it won't, I would never reach a level of success by making people feel bad, undermining, or lying. So in that sense, that comment meant the world to me. And those comments do. I hear them, I've heard them after that event and before, and they mean everything. I'm acting 100% myself. Authenticity is one of my favorite words to describe myself. But with authentic, you also get the shit parts too. So sorry about that. So I had to wrestle with that one as I left this event, and all the folks there were, spending good amounts of money on stuff for a good cause. And I was leaving with, like a pizza box with some slices of pizza to eat on the way home because I didn't have anything. And, honestly, because of my lucrative, career in philosophy, I don't have assets that I can just, throw around and buy stuff. So I felt like, and I don't want to be like, I don't want anyone to feel bad for me. That's insulting. But I was feeling bad for me in the moment. I was at that point, and still am, the person who's bringing their garbage to work because I don't want to spend the money to take it to the dump. It's that tight. There have been times where I've had to borrow money so my account wouldn't go under over the weekend. There's always, almost every weekend that the kids are home or they're not at school getting free school lunch, I have to be very careful as to how we feed ourselves without running out. And so, I got irritated